What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Daily HiFi Podcast. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. My name is Chana. With me, we've got Joe and Aaron. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Everybody's got a case of the Mondays. Woo!
How is it Monday already? Seriously, that went by fast for me. I don't know.
Lost an hour, man.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Time change happened. And then Joe and I were up till like 3 a.m. last night. We're working on something special for each and every one.
I got to change my clock here. Okay, there we go.
That was the one thing. All the clocks changed except for my watch. My wristwatch. I'm like,
manual.
I feel like an old man. Back in my day, we had to wind our own watches. But yeah, because I woke up. I'm like 10:30. It says 10:30 on everything. I'm like 10:30. It doesn't feel like 10:30. And then I realized, like in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, the time changed. That's why I'm tired. Derp.
Yeah.
Oops. Derpage. Yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody. Who do we have here? Do we have anybody in the chat? I think we've got Mr. Joe and Tell, Michael Myers. What's up, Victor?
Yeah, what's up? You see that little thing next to their name? That's the Daily HiFi Crew. Crew.dailyhifi.com. If you guys want to become part of the crew, well, we have an after show where we talk, and sometimes we're talking about actual audio stuff. Last time we were talking about room treatment and just discussing what you should do. And then I actually hopped on the phone with Anthony Gramani real quick. Like, Anthony, we're saying all kinds of stuff about you. Why don't you?
That was in the after show. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I asked him if he wants to come back and talk.
Yeah.
So
we'd love to have
him. Always down.
Yeah, he said yes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's always down.
Late but made it. No worries, Chris Wyndham. You're on time, buddy. You're like Gandalf. A wizard never is late or early. He arrives approximately when he means to. Right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Back in my day, I had a pocket watch because the band broke. Oh, get it? He had a watch, but the band broke, so he had a pocket watch. Get it?
Yeah. You should put on a chain.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Whatever, dude.
Did you guys? Yeah, super chats are appreciated. If you have a question, hit us up with the super chat. It helps us continue to do this. We've done this for like years. This is what number 174 Mondays. That's a lot of Mondays.
It just keeps everything going. You know what I mean?
If there's 52 weeks in a year, so 3 years, 3.5 years. Is that how long we're doing this?
Yeah, I think we have more that's not even on the count.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
So we started counting after a certain amount, but
that's true.
A good amount.
Yeah.
And that's not including the Hi-Fi Summit stuff that we did.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, damn, we did a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Some people ask me, like, there's this new guy, Ace of Base Home Theater. He's been in the chat and he's been talking to me. Dude, I was like, Ace of Base Home Theater? That's awesome. Like, your theme should be all that she wants is another woofer. She's buying tomorrow. All
that you want.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Here's another bass. Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, dude, I'm totally.
Every time you sing, Aaron, you do the what is that? The high voice.
Falsetto?
What is that called? Falsetto.
Yeah.
He just jumps straight into the.
I made a video, a short, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was asking people, when you sing to a song, does your voice change? Like, do you sing in your talking voice or do you change your voice, and which way does it go? Yeah.
I try to sing in key. I mean, that's what
I always do, just because I'm naturally gifted as a singer. Of course. Yeah.
I try to sing it like the song itself. I try to sing it like the song itself, and then I try to sing as good as I could possibly sing. But if I'm in front of the camera, then I have to do a weird voice because, you know what I mean? That to let you know that I'm not really trying. So if it sounds bad, I'm not really trying. You know what I'm talking about? It's like,
go for it. Like, what do you do then? You be like, oh, there she won't. She's another baby. Yeah, is that what you would do?
He's gone today. He's gone today.
He gone 2 hours ago.
I don't think I've ever purposely listened to that song.
Oh yeah.
I remember being on like you know, I'd be walking somewhere and I'd hear it, but I don't think I've ever like, oh, let me check this out.
Yeah.
Hear this.
I played this house version of it called Gone Tomorrow. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't believe that Joe's being honest there. I feel like what happened was he would be walking and then it would come on the radio or wherever he was passing. And he would just stop and he would vibe to it. And then he would be like, oh, that's a one.
No, it would be on
like try to hit the high notes, you know.
It would be on MTV or The Box. Remember The Box? I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah,
I remember hearing it.
Yeah. And then you'd be able to like play the. I'd play the song that I'd want, and then I'd record it on the tape.
Yeah.
I don't know. How did I record that? I'm trying to remember how I would like
cable box to the VHS, and then the VHS to the TV. Right.
What's the output? You know what I mean? How did I record
it? It was a coax cable. It was the RF like that. There's no like HDMI. There's no.
But yeah, I'd pay for those once in a while. I remember I got Hurricane from E40. Hurricane, but you can call me Slurricane.
Oh,
you guys know about that. You guys know about that.
Totally gonna get hit with copyright.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Wendell, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Did you guys watch the award show last night?
No, I did see a couple clips of it, like the part where Arnold and Danny DeVito were talking to Michael Keaton, the whole like Batman thing.
Really? I didn't see that.
Oh, you need to find that clip. It's really good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check that out. I didn't even know it was on. I popped in, like somebody on Facebook was like Academy Award, blah 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 blah, and I was just like,
bro, I'm Filipino, man. You don't know.
Watch
I get
out.
down with karaoke.
Yeah, dude. They're all trying to steal the microphone from me.
Let's
I'm
go.
over at their place. There was a karaoke off over at their place. It was the girl.
Yeah, Chana was scared to join in.
I was working.
He was like on this computer, pretending he didn't see what's going on. Should have jumped.
I couldn't hear what's going on. Oh my god, it was loud. Oh my goodness. He's gonna have that song stuck in his head.
I am. I really will.
The whole time. Oppenheimer won a lot of stuff. I saw that. I got in right for the very, very last. Oh, I did see I'm Just Ken performance. That was
that was pretty good.
That was funny.
Yeah. I like that.
Good stuff. But yeah, I always I don't know about you guys, but I'm always the type of person that's like, oh wait, this movie won awards. Okay, maybe I should go watch it. you know, those Children of the Flower Corn or whatever corn tortilla movie. Flowers and corn tortillas. I don't know. There's that one. Oppenheimer. Barbie. And
oh no.
Super chat for the cereal face. Ah!
What? All right. He gave us a super chat. We got to do it. Joe's got to do it.
I got to do it.
You got to do it.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Oh,
got to, man.
Nah.
This makes me sad.
What's a cereal face? What's a cereal face? I did. That's the one.
Count Chocula.
That's what that's what Tim already put as the thumbnail, right?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I could do
Count Chocula. Oh, good stuff, man.
Somebody gave me a little crap over that, which I expected. I'm just voicing my opinion. I'm just a guy with an opinion, and that's it. I just have an opinion sometimes. There's certain things I don't like. I have my own pet peeves. Maybe other people don't care at all. But if I had to rid the audio, well, what I don't know, industry, I don't know. But if I didn't have to see that ever again, I'd be okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would be cool with that. And yeah, I think people are just playing the game, like those types of faces work. So yeah. You got to do what you got to do. I don't, because I don't care. Right. I don't care. And this guy was like saying, oh, are you at 100,000 subscribers? I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? I'd rather make 100,000 in a month. Let's go. So you you guys let me know when you hit that number. That would be a great number.
Yeah, you ain't going to hit that. You might hit that in a year with 100,000 subscribers.
Oh my gosh.
Not on YouTube for sure.
That's, I mean, for real.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna make dude. The amount that I make on YouTube's hilarious.
Oh, it's
I actually,
low, not hilarious. Like it's large.
hilariously low, right?
It's terrible.
Hilariously low.
Yeah, make that
That's not
clear. There was that girl, Vanessa Lau. She quit all social media for 1 year. She has 700,000 subscribers, and her ad revenue went from 10,000 a month to 700 or something like that right away. So
immediately, yeah.
And she has 700,000 subscribers. So that's 100,000 subscribers.
That's why we got to shill out for these super chats. You know what I mean?
This
like the $5 here and there, that helps because we got to pay Tim.
Yeah,
not for me necessarily. It's just to keep it going, right? But yeah, I prefer not to do those things. Aaron, did you hear the most recent Audio Unleashed? They mentioned you and I.
Uh-oh.
At the end.
No, I have not. The Patreon one.
Yeah, part of the Patreon one. They're like, yeah, there's a lot of these YouTube guys, like they make a lot. They're making hundreds of thousands, like, and they didn't say specifically who. I don't know, but and they're these guys like are really trying to do a good job and do real reviews, like Aaron Hardison and that Joe Mariano. I'm like, those are two separate thoughts. Hundreds of thousands of dollars on YouTube. That's not me.
Yeah,
Aaron, you making
that, dude? I
making
average maybe $50 a video from YouTube ad revenue, like maybe, and I don't do it for the money for sure. I do it as long as the money is enough to sustain me.
Yeah,
then I will. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. I'm happy with that. But if I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month out of my own pocket to keep doing this, then that probably changes things.
Out of your own pocket.
Yeah. I mean, like before I even did YouTube, I had one different website. I had a website of my own that I was putting data up and stuff like that. I was already reviewing stuff for like 10 years before I started a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do YouTube because I saw a bunch of dudes who didn't know what they were talking about, honestly. And I thought, well, if these guys can do it, then I can do it because I know what I'm talking about. But the problem for me is that I don't do those things that you really need to do to drive fresh faces to your channel, right? Like, and I know it. I know that's how it is. I remember Jay Diagi was even made a video about that one time. And this is nothing against Jay. I've met him in person. I think he's a nice dude. But he actually made a video about it, talking about how you have to play the YouTube game if you want views, because I guess people were giving him crap at one point for his titles, and they were saying they were very clickbaity. And he was like, yeah, they are. But if I want people to view my videos, then that's the thing that I've got to do. And I actually respect that a lot because he's aware of it. I actually never really thought his videos were clickbait, but I guess he got tired of people complaining about it. So there's that. I don't even know where I was going with that.
I don't know, but
not even a rant, but just
almost saying some funny stuff over here.
Yeah, it's just the reality of the thing.
If Joe did more serial faces, he'd be rolling in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Serial faces if Aaron wants views.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, hey,
you've got to. But to me, it's an integrity thing, right? Like I remember I did one face last summer where somebody said, if you do any more of those, I will unsubscribe. and I'm dead serious. But what's funny is like some people probably wouldn't care, but I took that to heart because when I made that face, I was like, God, this feels like this is not authentic to me. You know what I'm saying? And so when the dude said it, and I don't even know if he probably quit subscribing at that point anyway. It just made me think like, yeah, that's not me.
But what's funny is like when I go DJing and I'm at events and stuff like that, this is long before YouTube, I'd always be like, hey, because I'm taking pictures with people that want to take pictures.
That's a real thing. You're actually out in the thing, like, hey, you're with what up? Like, hey, what's up? That's different though.
And
that's
being
different because you really are in that moment. Do you think that you're gonna feel like that? Like this? Like you really feel like that? Like I'm in a crew. Hey, I'm in a group of people. ARC Studio. Like, you know what I mean? It's a little different.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, for sure.
You know, I take a lot of
last
I
time-
take a lot of photos with the family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we have lots of photos. If I were to scroll through all my photos, I don't think I'm gonna have that face. Like I'm just gonna make the face that I make in real life. You know what I mean? I think that's really what it is, right? And I think some people, they create a character for YouTube, which is, you know, that's cool too.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of a smart thing, because if somebody attacks your character on YouTube, it's like not really attacking you.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, you're attacking this guy that I made up, so whatever.
Oh,
I agree. Yeah, that guy sucks.
Is that why all the mean comments really, really hurt me? Because I'm the same guy in the video.
Yeah.
Not cool,
Well, you
bro.
know,
I'm just kidding, dude. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Well, here's the thing, right? After you have a certain number of subscribers, you know, you're gonna get opinions from other people, and you can't make everyone happy. That's just a true. I saw one of your comments, Aaron. You're like, can't win.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was that about?
So it was about that you. All right. So first, you used to just come out with your videos and just go right into the data, right?
Yeah.
And then people started saying, oh, you know, subjective. And so you started doing some more subjective stuff at the beginning before you go into the data. And then this guy's like, can you just jump right into the data? That's what I'm here for. And she's not win.
Yeah, that's right. I was just like, I can't, you know, like you can't please everybody, right? So you just got to do what you want to do and what makes you feel happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I stick to not doing dumb stuff, or, you know, I full on know how to play the game at this point because I see other people doing it. I know what to title. I know what faces to make. I know how to make the thumbnails, but I don't want to do it. You know, I've been resisting it for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
You know, other thing is YouTube kind of seems like it promotes quantity, right? Sometimes maybe over quality. Sometimes I would guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Or what I would consider quality, right? So for me, quality is like a really in-depth review and really, you know, looking at all this stuff that other people aren't looking at, right? To help you make a good decision. So, but I think it wants more like frequent uploads. And lately you've been doing a lot of frequent uploads, Aaron.
Yeah.
I feel like you've gotten a routine down and you know like what you're going to talk about and you just knock them out real fast. Have you noticed that YouTube likes that?
You know, I actually think I probably oversaturated things a bit because now I feel like it's just slowing down. Like videos that I've made that I feel like people would probably enjoy, they don't do that well. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to slow down and take a break, maybe do like a week between them or something like that. But the thing is, I enjoy doing it, you know, like it's, to me, it's not, because for real, I'm single, right? Like if I were married and had kids, and that'd be different, but I'm single. I've got a lot of time. So that's what I like to do in my free time.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know. It seems like your videos do pretty well. Like when I see the view count on them,
they do all right.
Like that's pretty good view count. You know, it's like a ratio of your view count to
he's like
your subscribers. Like that's a lot of views, right? So
yeah,
he got his groove back.
Right.
Yeah.
Got Stella.
Well, speaking of quality over quantity, I think that's the same thing when it comes to the people who I want commenting and watching my videos, right?
Yes.
Instead, I would rather have fewer awesome people commenting who are adding to the discussion than like quantity, like a big number, and then there's all kinds of garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I prefer to do things, even in life. You know what I mean? I don't want the most friends. I want a good set of really good friends, right?
There's the title of the next video.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Time for everybody.
Yeah. Who has time for everybody? I
don't have time for everybody. I'm very selective. You know what I mean?
I didn't have time to sleep. Joe was like, "Hey, let's do this." I'm like, yeah, it's like 2 a.m. Oh man, just try this. Oh my god, we're sending files back and forth. He's like, "Okay, this is uploading. It's gonna take a minute." Oh my god.
Yeah, we made a cool, another cool free Atmos music demo.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
We formed like Voltron, came together, and then I was just testing out this. Man, the volume level output on this Apple TV 4K is garbage. Just like garbage.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Like
that sounds terrible.
That's like, it's like I put this file in and like I got to play this because I couldn't play it last night because, you know, moms and everybody is sleeping here. I played it in the morning, and I'm like, oh, okay. We need to drastically bump up the volume because I was at like 0 dB on this dead. And I went with the Infuse app into the Apple TV because my USB dongle broke, so I just bought a new one on the way over here and tried it and went into put the file on the thumb drive, went into like the Blu-ray player. I tried on the Blu-ray player and on the Revolution player, the media player. Damn, the volume difference from those to compared to the Apple TV, insane. I'm so glad I didn't mess with the levels of the track because it is perfectly fine. It is banging. The bass is crazy. Everything sounds awesome.
And you know what's crazy? So like you were saying that it was low volume on the Apple TV.
Yeah.
But when I made the mix, you're like, dude, you're in the red. You're clipping like
yeah.
You're like pushing this too hard, right? Yeah. So it's like, all right, let me lower them down. But then at that point, you're like, oh man, I have to turn it up. So what do you do?
It's a balance, man. Mixing music and stuff like that it's a balance. It's about he's bringing it back. FOMO's bringing it back. Nothing will beat Bose Exposed.
Yeah, that was
true.
That was an Angela. She made that up, so I can't even take
it.
Yeah, all the good ones. That's Angela. So all the normal ones that you see, that's my doing.
I'll ask my girlfriend for advice on how to make one. Then
you know what? It's sometimes better for somebody else to tell you. When you're too close to the stuff, you're just like, what should I make this? Frequency response? Like, no.
No.
Nobody wants that.
It was funny. I was sitting there trying to come up with the title, and then Gracie comes by and she's like, speaker on a stick, what's that? And I'm like, oh,
there you go.
That's it. Speaker on a stick is the title.
That's it. Yeah, sometimes it's better for somebody else.
That is on the thumbnail. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Well, yeah, you're just too close to the project.
Too close, yeah.
Paul,
thank you for the super chat, Paul. Travisano. Paul Travisano. What is it? We have a question. It says, I have 4 Atmos speakers in the top corners of my room. Top corners. What location should I tell my Marantz receiver they are in? I got the 6011 I asked you about. Okay, so whether you use top front or front height or top rear or rear height, it's not going to change the sound. Like I've actually measured the difference, and there's no difference in the delay, and it's not going to change any of that. All it's going to do is if you choose the height ones, it'll allow you to use Oro 3D. Right? If you choose top, then that might not be an option for you. So I would say choose height. I think the only time it makes a difference, right, Chana, is for the middles. Doesn't it do something different with the middles, like top middle versus surround height or whatever they call it?
Yes. If you choose surround height, that will remove or negate your rear height channels because that's like a specifically Oro 3D setup. So for Dolby Atmos, if you have 2 sets of height channels and you do front height and then your rears are actually more like in the diagram, like surround heights, and you set it to surround heights, you will not get any information going to those 2 speakers when it is a Dolby Atmos track. Okay. So that's
yeah, because surround height is not a Dolby Atmos thing.
Yeah, it's not
middle is.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, for I assume that you front and rear is fine, but when it comes to the surround, that should be top middle. Yeah.
Top middle, or just make it rear height. Rear height. It's not really going to change a whole lot. Yeah.
Angel says those cereal faces are disgusting.
There's nothing wrong with the cereal face.
The cereal faces are disgusting. Oh man, that's funny. What else?
Here we go.
That answers the question. Let me know if it does.
Ask AI to do Joe and Aaron cereal box ad. Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's open up Mid Journey. Joe, you're not gonna do a cereal face, Joe, but I'll make one.
you can make one for me.
Yeah, AI is probably there's plenty of video of you on the internet. I can easily.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So let's see here.
Hello.
That's
Yeah.
Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah, Slim. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's a problem. That Apple TV 4K is really just it's convenient, but like when we have to like measure these level things or just test out one of these Dolby Atmos tracks that we've been working on, not the way to go. I'm glad I went back. Otherwise, you guys, if we get this video up tomorrow, you guys would be like, "Whoa, this is loud! Oh my gosh, this is loud! How loud do we need to be, people?" I don't even know what voice that is, but
Yeah, one more time. How does that go?
this is loud.
Sounds like you're drowning.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just so happy. It's fantastic. Life is.
I got some car audio stuff.
No, nobody
some
cares
fun.
about car audio.
Well, that's too bad because
Too
I don't
bad.
care.
Hold on, cereal face.
That looks like a Einstein face.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. That's
That was
an
Einstein face. If you had the hair and everything, that's straight Einstein. That's
Hold on.
okay.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Einstein's my homie. Uh-oh.
I was using the Infuse app, Jeremy.
So the Infuse app, just so people who don't know, it's so that you can play the Dolby. Oh no,
No, my goodness.
that's Einstein, dude. That's so Einstein.
Hold up.
Got a clean thumbnail here for Tim.
Dude, you look like Paul. You look like Croissant right there.
Oh, I do look like Paul. Hold on. I need the wind blowing though.
You need some glasses and a beer or something.
Hold up.
Oh man.
Paul, what do you think, man?
What if he's watching?
This is great.
Paul would be like
man.
this.
Croissant in Alabama.
Oh,
I bet Paul just drives with the windows down on purpose just to blow his hair. Because he can.
man.
Fabio Styles, yeah. Aaron looking like Rob Zombie.
He kind of does.
Man.
Or a creepy
human.
Daniel Boone. Oh man, this is hilarious. Good. Joe, the French Canadian, asks a question. He says, I often hear that A Quiet Place is a good movie for Atmos scene. Is it the first or second movie? I think I haven't seen the second one, but for sure the first one has a lot of great Atmos, a lot of good LFE use as well. With like creepy, tensiony, like making that ambiance of like, oh, somebody's gonna record views, somebody's gonna die soon. Well, yeah, I haven't seen it. Have you guys seen the second one?
Nope.
No.
I didn't even watch the first one. I just watched that weird scene.
Oh, where they're like downstairs and then
just to check it out. Doesn't seem like my type of movie though. I don't like getting scared.
Oh,
What do I want to be scared for? I want to be happy.
Croissant's profile picture is for.
Oh, so I got some car audio stuff.
All right, dude. Let's just get it over with.
So I got this distribution block. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
distro. Man, listen. Let me get my mic in and make sure you can hear me right. Nobody calls it a distribution block.
What's it called? I don't know what it's called.
A distro block.
Distro.
Yeah, man, it's a distro block, not a distribution block. Gosh,
it's a
you might as well just have a sign, a little sticker on your shirt that says, "Hi, I'm new here."
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know what it was called. I'm on Amazon, like ground connector.
Okay.
Terminal thingy.
Yeah.
Splitter. Ground splitter.
That'll work.
I don't even know what these things are called. But yeah, is this helpful for making sure you don't have like a noise in your system?
It can be.
Same ground or
like normally it's just for splitting up the signal, right? And so for the ground, you would want to do it if you want to make sure that you're sharing the same common ground. Like if you have an amplifier installed in the back of the car, but your head unit's grounded at a different location, or you got two different amplifiers and they're grounded at different locations, and you're sending signal to different ones, and each of those grounds have a different resistance to them, then that could like create a noise issue.
Okay.
But honestly, man, I think for the most part, for the regular Joe, no pun intended, for real, I don't know that you need it necessarily for the ground, but you would need a fused distribution block for the power.
Okay. All right.
And you make sure you fuse for the wire and not the current pull of the amplifier.
I'll be honest, like, you know, if you don't have something like this, it's kind of like you have the ground and then you have like I have DSP and like a couple of amplifiers. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just like, where are you going to connect them at one? You just choose an amplifier. Let's all connect it to that one. Like, that's not good.
Yeah, that kind of looks tacky too.
Yeah, you can use like that thing's putting a lot of stress on that one connector.
You can use barrier strips. That might be something you might want to look into. And you can get the little barrier strips for cheap for car audio. And like, I know I've used them before, and a lot of people use them as kind of in lieu of a quick disconnect. So they have all sorts of things. They have power poles for power, like the big 4-gauge, 8-gauge wire, stuff like that. But the barrier strips would be something that's smaller wire, like speaker wire or remote turn on accessory wire, those kind of things. But all it is just like a wire that comes in and another wire that comes out the other side, and you just little Phillips head screw, just hold them in place, but it's connected there.
I'm so immature. I laugh whenever I see the butt connectors.
But dude, I laugh about that still. Have you seen the ones that have the solder in them? So you twist the wires up, you put them in the butt connectors, and then you use a heat gun on them, and there's solder inside, and the solder melts and it connects them that way. So it's the best of both worlds. I
kind of had to do that with the I had to put like the little fork looking connector on the ground.
The T-tap?
Like a thick.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's a connector.
Like a spade connector.
Yeah. But then I have to get this like tool.
That big old crimp.
Like either like a crazy tool.
Yeah.
Right. Like the little wire stripper ones. It doesn't do anything to it. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I just threw a bunch of solder around the wire.
Yeah.
I just wrapped it in solder, threw it in that thing, and then I heated the thing up until the solder kind of like just connected to it. I'm like, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
But I also got, so speaking of this, is there a device that enables hookup of more than 4 subwoofers beyond the mini DSP 2x4 HD? And this is related to what I'm doing. So yes, there is a device called the in home theater. It's the DDRC 88A BM. It has the bass management.
BM.
What are we talking about here?
it might be discontinued actually, and that allows.
Has to check it.
Let me think. 8 in and 8 out.
Yeah, right.
I think it's 8 in, 8 out. Yeah, 8 in, 8 out. If you want something less expensive but maybe less capable than the 2x4 HD, there's an inexpensive one by Dayton Audio called the DSP 408. So that's 4 inputs and 8 outputs. Right. So those are 2 options. And the reason why this is related to what I'm doing is they make a car audio version of the DDRC 88A. I don't know if they've made modifications to it, but it's called, what is it? What's the car audio one? You used to have one, right, Aaron?
It's the CDSP. Is it 8x12? I think.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's just the DSP. Right.
I think it's pretty much the same as this DDRC, just made for a car.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
very similar.
Maybe yeah.
Well, anyway, that thing is still like $800, the car audio one. And I already have the DDRC 88A, and I want to just use that in the car. So that's what I'm doing. So I got this like, don't tell me there's a different word for this, but this is a buck.
It's a
converter or something like that, where
a buck converter?
Well, that DDRC takes a 12 volt input.
Yeah, is that like a voltage?
And it's like a voltage regulator. So the car will fluctuate, right? 12 volts, 14.4 volts, like depending on, if your alternator kicked in. And so that DDRC will not like 14 volts.
Yeah.
It's not going to be happy. So this keeps it at 12 volts. So, and it has Dirac Live bass management. So that would be, I want to see what it can do in the car. And then of course I have to get some relays to make that thing turn on properly.
Oh no, relays.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate relays. I can never remember which ones are the right ones. There's it's like 30 or 38 and then 70, like the different numbers, which one's power, which one's ground, which one's switch, and which one's constant, or I guess switched power. And then, so there's constant 12 volt, there's switch 12 volt, there's remote out switch 12 volt, and then there's constant ground. So there's 4 poles on those things, and I can never remember which one is which, and I'll always have to Google it every single time.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have to look it up.
Oh, it came pre-wired. That's nice.
So you know what I was gonna ask you about the car audio sound quality competitions? Because I do spend a lot of time tuning the system, because to me, car audio is so difficult to do that it teaches me stuff about tuning home systems.
Yes, for sure.
It's like if I can, like, the bass is so erratic and weird, and the cancellations are so obvious, right? That it's really obvious, right? If you have the polarity of the subs wrong, you just hear them like, but nothing. You're not hearing the bass. There's it's just shaking stuff. I'm like, what is that noise? Oh shoot! Let me try to change the polarity. Oh, there it is. So that's one of the things that I do when I'm testing the Magic Bean stuff. Is I do my car audio, and I was kind of curious. I asked somebody like, hey, do they have like sound quality competitions around here? I wouldn't mind just rolling up and seeing what can happen. You know what I mean? Oh,
I just dropped you a link for where you need to go when we're done here.
Okay. So I'm sure some of these guys get super crazy. Like I saw the guy who won the car audio sound quality competition, and like, you know, they were telling me, the guy from jail was telling me, yeah, he has different like boosters, so you're at the right perfect height.
Yeah,
like,
that's
dang.
Papasan. Yeah.
Huh?
That's Richard Papasan.
No, this guy was another younger looking guy with a Mazda something.
I take that back. Oh, that's I'll come back around.
JL audio stuff.
Oh, all JL?
Yep.
I don't know then. Yeah, I don't know. But Papasan is the guy who runs the West Coast Audiophile. So there used to be this thing called MECA. It was a Mobile Electronics Car Association or something. I can't remember now. But that was like a competition thing, and it was headed up by a guy that was in Tennessee. And then maybe 4 or 5 or so years ago, he sold it to a couple in Kentucky. So in these sound quality things, they usually have 2 different main divisions. One will be sound quality, and then the other one will be SPL, so just bass, right? Mm-hmm. So the sound quality is what you're after. When the guy sold off MECA, MECA, the people who took it over, they were SPL guys, and they basically quit worrying about sound quality. So all the sound quality people kind of started doing their own thing. And that's why you have that link I just dropped a minute ago.
I see. So yeah, this guy his name's Jeffrey Huld.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, I'm not trying to go on that level. I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
This is Aaron's like, he's like next level. Like, I'm sure that there's, you know, they gutted the thing and made it perfect. Like everything's perfect. No, mine's not going to be. It's not even going to look good.
Come on, man.
But here's the thing: is I do believe that I know how to tune a system well enough. So I know that there's different like levels. I'm just curious to like, what would happen if I just entered to see what's up? I don't know how crazy do they get on the different levels. Like, what would you say the different levels of craziness are?
It gets pretty crazy. I mean, like at my old car, I had the floors, the firewall cut out with holes to vent 10-inch mid-bass drivers. And then at one point I had enclosures built up front for 10-inch subwoofers. And I had 5 1/4-inch Pro Audio coaxials in the A-pillars. It was ridiculous.
I mean, they're like,
and that's not even that extreme.
What does up front mean? Like in the footwells? What is?
Yeah, in the footwell. Yeah.
Like straight up, it looks like you got a like those B&W 802Ds, like straight right in front of you.
Yeah, I bet you anything. If you put like speakers all in a car and like AI, that would be like your car, huh?
That would be it. Yeah,
like all these speaker cones all over the place.
Just so what are
dude? What are the entry ones like? Like,
well, they'll have stock class for people with like stocks. Well, I don't know if anybody actually competes with a stock system, but the idea is that you have your stock radio and maybe you have a DSP with so many bands of EQ. It just depends, you know, like it used to be, for example,
right?
What?
It's stock.
Yeah. Well, I saw that there are classes for like industry people, and I'll probably be considered that because like I'm in the audio.
I don't know.
I'm not getting anything for free from the car audio guys for sure.
I don't think you would be. I wouldn't put you there.
All right, cool.
especially
Cool.
not your first year.
They should
All
call
right.
it OEM Plus. That's what they should.
OEM plus.
Well, so, and I don't know all the different classes now, but in Mecca, it used to be they would have stock, they would have stock plus, they would have, there was street, then it was modified, then modified extreme, and then extreme, and then master. And master was like the people in the industry. And I was in the extreme class because my car had holes cut all through it. So,
Oh man, it sounds like fun, man.
it can be. Yeah.
Were you ever a judge?
Yeah. I've judged a few different shows, gotten some people upset. And
I bet.
yeah, man. I mean, you tell somebody that what they put together in the past year doesn't sound good. They don't take too kindly to
You
it.
measure with your ears.
Yeah. Well, no, I just measure with my ears. What?
All your ears.
No. Who measures with their ears?
Yeah. So yeah, that might be fun. Are there ever any that don't measure to whatever the target curve is, but it sounds good actually?
I hope that there are, because using a single target curve for everybody is dumb.
Well, that's what didn't they used to do something like that where if like they judge you partially based on like
Yeah.
how
So
close you
there
hit
was
the curve? That's kinda-
RTA.
I'm like, oh, that's a problem for me. I'm not gonna
there was
do that.
there was RTA class, which nobody competed in anymore, so they pretty much got rid of it. But the idea was that the flattest response that you could get, which was measured on a 1/3 octave equalizer that was a dot matrix display. Yeah. It was by audio control, I think, was who made it. But yeah, people would use that, and then they would just play pink noise, and you try to get it lined up, and some people, what they would do is, because you can have so much constructive and destructive interference between the left and the right, some people would just shut down an entire side of speakers, or they may shut down their mid-range and their tweeter on the right side and have the right mid bass playing, and then all the left speakers playing. And
I'll
then,
win.
but
I'd win
then
that.
they got wise at that, so they said, all right, well, you get extra if you do it at a higher SPL. So it's just, it can be ridiculous, man.
I would
It can
win.
be
I would
fun
just put a
or
concentric,
ridiculous.
that monolith concentric speaker, and I
should
just
do
put
that.
that right like as close as possible, like right in your face.
Put it
This is what
right
I
at the
said, man.
headrest. Is what you
That's what
should
I
do.
said.
Yeah,
Let's go.
you would win that class, but nobody would care because it wouldn't sound good.
No, that's interesting. I might do something like that just for fun and test out Magic Beans and let's see what happens.
You should do it.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm tested out this thing too, Shauna. This is the thing we're not allowed to show. So related to DSP also. This is for like studio monitors. So XLR.
Is
And
that
it's basically
thing.
with that.
Who is that?
This is ARC Studio, like the IK Media, the ones who make it iLoud.
Yeah. Okay.
So they came out with this thing that like it comes with this little MEMS mic. Look at that little thing. Little. Anyway, it's $300, right? And I'm finishing up my review. I'll probably post it today.
What do you think?
And takes the measurements. You can choose different target curves. You can simulate a phone, a TV to kind of see how your mix sounds on different things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty cool. Very low latency, and basically you load up your it loads up the corrections, kind of like a mini DSP for studio monitors.
Yeah,
it works.
That's cool.
Yeah, The best part is that it's the correction is done outside the computer, so you're not using any computer resources with it, which is huge.
Oh, Matt, this is my main complaint about it. You cannot import a target curve. You can. They give you 6 little dots that you can move around, but that's not enough. So that's my main thing. If they can allow an import of a target curve from REW, which means that it would be compatible with Magic Beans also, then that would be awesome. And hopefully they listen. What else do we got? Car audio. March 20th is the date that I want for the early access of Magic Beans. So that's coming up. It's the 11th. Oh my goodness.
What day is it?
Forget about 2 for me.
Getting close.
It's a Wednesday. So it's next Wednesday.
Yeah, so that was a question that somebody had. Where is it? It was update. Yeah, so we got pretty much all of the stuff, all the bugs worked out, and yeah, it's got to do a lot more as far as getting it approved in the App Store and stuff like that. So if that doesn't happen in time for the 20th, then it'll still be available to people who have you can still download the file directly, just not on iOS, right? iOS requires it being on the App Store. So yeah, it'll be available on the 20th for the people who have signed up. Previously, it was called the beta test, right? Like if you go to joeintel.com/MB, that would be where you used to sign up for a beta test. But we did a private beta just because what I realized is we have hundreds, probably close to 1,000 people who signed up for that. And to do a beta test with that many people, that's just too much coming in. So I kind of handpicked a few people here and there from different forums who are really, really awesome with DSP. And yeah, I had them testing it out, and then they could relay back hey, check out this, the Q on the bass, you need more narrow filters in the bass, things like that. So we pretty much got everything worked out, and look forward to that. If you've signed up, you can still do it right now. At a certain point, we're just going to cut off that date, right? Or cut off that that sign up page. Right now, you can. Let's see if we have a banner for that. Yeah. joeintel.com/MB. It's not, what you're going to get is not a beta test. We're calling it early access because we've worked out all the stuff. I'm not expecting for everyone to be testing stuff out. Although when you release it, from 20 people who are testing it to 1,000 people, there's going to be some guy who's trying something that I've never expected. Are you falling asleep? You falling asleep?
Who?
Chana's falling asleep when I'm okay, that's fine.
I think he's dead.
I kept you up till 2-3 a.m. It's all right. No.
That's not a cereal box face.
Audio. No. So yeah, if there are issues, then we will resolve them. But they're going to be unexpected, hopefully edge case type of stuff, right? Not oh, this thing doesn't work. Did you guys even test this? No. What did Reverend say? Yeah, I gave input on my related testing, put my nerdum to shame. Yeah,
we love all the help you provide in the Discord there, Jeremy.
Oh, yes.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
See you later, FOMO.
Hey man, we got to get FOMO on the podcast again sometime soon.
Yeah, but only if he makes a cereal box face.
Yeah, he can make this. He can make the cereal box face for.
I want to ask FOMO why he quit testing speakers. Maybe that's a private conversation. But I remember FOMO, when I started out, he tested speakers.
Yeah, I think he said it takes a lot of time, and he'd just rather leave it up to people who test speakers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so you said, will you have tutorials? Yep, that's what I'm working on. That's why I got my fresh cut. Got to put on a nice thing and look professional and make some tutorial videos. You're excited? Yep, I'm excited. Nobody's more excited than me.
I'm pretty excited.
You're pretty excited?
Yeah, I threw my hands up.
Yeah, we got some crazy people in that private beta test, man. They get straight into the nerdy stuff. It's awesome. You go in yeah, what Q are you using for below this? I'm dang, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what I want. So hopefully all these super smart people who I've handpicked, who are working on, looking at various things, will make it so that the normal people like me can test it out and use it. And you just get the benefit of all these smart people, right? They figured out how it's done. All you have to do is import. Dang, why does it sound so good? Yeah, I don't know. Because we've been working on it for a year and a half. We're on build over we're on probably over 230 builds. Yeah, lots of sleepless nights, and hopefully it pays off. And at the end of the day, if you use it, you're gonna say it works. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
It works. Okay, so we got a super chat Have you ever attempted?
Sorry, measurement of an open baffle speaker with magic beans.
I think we have somebody testing it with the Linkwitz,
Those giant horn things.
the one that's shaped like.
Do you have a picture? What is it called? Linkwitz?
The Linkwitz Labs. I think we have 2 people who have those actually.
Oh, that's cool.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the LX 521, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you remember that?
I've just seen it a lot.
Because it's that one or the one that looks like it's made out of PVC.
Yeah, that's the LX Mini. I've tested the LX Mini.
This thing?
Yeah. So that's open baffle.
Yeah, that one I don't know. Somebody would have to correct me, but I think that comes in 2 different flavors, or maybe it used to come in 2 different flavors, and now there's just the one. But what I remember was that it has a tweeter that faces the other side too.
4-way loudspeaker design. Yeah, full range dipole for flat on axis and off axis response.
I don't think this one has a tweeter that faces the back, does it?
Yeah, if you look at the back side of that, there's a tweeter that's on the back of it that basically faces the rear wall or the front wall or whatever you want to call it.
Photo, unless it's
By the way, thank you for the super chat. By the way,
yes,
appreciate that. $10 super chat. I don't know how to say your name though.
What is it?
Is it pre-rich 45?
Hey, I like that.
Pre-rich.
He's pre-rich. Squad goals.
The 2 flavors are true, he says.
Okay.
And I know they have a newer version because I saw it and I talked to those guys. They're like, "Oh, we have a newer version." Was this? I wonder, does this old one come with DSP? Because I remember the response.
Yeah, they have
pretty.
They have
pretty
digital, right? They have the DSP, but then they have an analog EQ circuit, I believe,
Not
too.
showing the back. Oh, here's the back. Finally.
Yeah,
there it is. There it is.
There is a tweeter on the back.
Yeah, on the top. Oh, why is it?
I really want to get a pair of those to test, but I don't think they're ever going to send me any.
It's like cute. It's like a cross section of a speaker. It's just like a little front.
Everybody I know that's listened to them, they've pretty much all said how awesome it is, but then they also say it's very bass limited, which makes sense. It's using 10 and an open baffle configuration, so okay. I think you probably just supplement with subwoofers somehow, either open baffle or sealed or something like that.
I mean, isn't it sitting on a subwoofer?
Look, it is, but it's in an open baffle frame, so it doesn't really have. It's not a bass reflex.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah, uses DSP. One of the guys who owns one, he says it sounds crazy when you go like directly to the side of it. It's just like you don't hear any sound.
Yeah, it cancels out completely at the sides. It's like a figure 8 when you look at it, like in a polar, it's a figure 8 pattern.
So yeah, when it comes to magic beans, it would measure differently, but I think it would still give you the correct target curve because it's all about coming up with the target curves, right? So even if the measurements were weird, it's going to be weird both at near field and that main listening position. So would still be able to figure it out. Yeah.
John and I are multitasking.
Yeah. What other ones we got? So hopefully that answers your question.
Cool.
Thank you again for the super chat. Appreciated.
Yeah.
What else we got? Do we have any other questions here?
What is the difference between a DSP and an equalizer? Well, the Equalizer was a movie, so there's that.
It was 3 of them.
Yes.
3 bands of EQ.
3 bands of EQ.
Okay, Shauna, why don't you explain? What's the difference, Shauna?
An equalizer is an equalizer. You have different bands of where you can change the level, and it could spread, depending on how wide you want each of those bands. Now you can have like a notch, you can have a shelf, but DSP actually uses a computer. It uses to help you attain a better sound. Is basically my rudimental way of explaining it. But yeah, it processes the signal. Digital signal processing, is that what it stands for?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can do all kinds of stuff with the DSP. Like you can EQ, and then you can do like time alignment. Can you do bass management with DSP? Yeah,
with different
Yep.
ones.
I think you can. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff will be kind of under the umbrella DSP. Like any electronic alteration that you make could be considered DSP. Even you could consider the high pass filter in your AVR DSP.
Oh yeah,
if you wanted to.
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so like when you get into the technical details of it, it just depends on what you.
So with an EQ, you can like boost 10K 2 dB. You can cut here, and you can do all that kind of stuff. But with the DSP, you can really like shape the EQ, and you can also do the timing and the bass management and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And even graphic EQ could be DSP in a sense.
Yeah.
It's just that there are fixed bands, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about parametric EQ, it just means that we can adjust the gain of a certain frequency, and then we can adjust the width, how wide the frequencies that are affected by that. So it kind of looks like a bell, right? A little bell curve. And you can make that like real narrow, or you can make it wider. Versus a graphic EQ, they're kind of like a fixed width, right? Each slider has its own same amount of width, and you can't make it like affect less or more frequencies. So parametric EQ just allows you to have finer control.
Yeah,
But
more versatility. Yeah.
yeah, just kind of like the same way that a 4-band equalizer versus a 10-band equalizer versus a 31-band, the more that you have, the better control you have.
Yes.
So it's similar to that, but I think they're all DSP at this point. It's not analog.
Yeah, it's like back in the day with my uncle's old Fisher that had like 20 something on each side, and you were just like making shapes. I was like, as a kid, I'm like, what is this doing?
Yeah.
Did you do it with your hand so you get them like this? Like
Yes.
Yeah, and the little patterns and stuff.
Flatten them out.
Let's make
Raise them all up.
Let's make a
dude,
beat.
that was a satisfying thing though. Remember when it hit the notch in the middle?
I do.
You know where the middle is?
It was nice. Them were the good old days. Yeah. I would just say too that I don't know of a DSP that doesn't have an equalizer in it these days.
But EQ doesn't have DSP, right?
Right. EQ doesn't have to be digital EQ. It can be analog. So those little knobs and stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the manly massive passive. That thing's beast.
Yeah.
The notch is the detent.
Yeah. I remember.
Why do you say it in caps? Like
the detente is French. I remember when you would buy like the really nice car audio component sets, the 2-3-way ones, and they would come with a big passive crossover. Like Alpine used to make really big ones, and they would have these little fuses, or not fuses, but like bars, I guess. So they would have, if you think of kind of like a fuse, you got the two little prongs that hold the fuse on each end. Yep, that's right. And so you just put the little bar in, and it basically connects the circuit. So you could have, attenuation for a tweeter, or you could bring it up and you could attenuate, you could change the slope of the crossover and all that stuff, because they didn't have DSP at that point, So that was your DSP. It was just changing settings on the actual passive crossover.
Wow, that's cool. What's funny is if you think about all the old stereos had graphic EQs.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we went back and listened to some of those old systems that probably now, like the speakers would probably measure pretty bad. But like the fact that you had at least some EQ, I bet, if you spent time to do that, I bet if you listen, you're like, that doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that'd be a lot worse. You do that for every song.
Oh yeah, you would.
You have to change it for every song, because every song is totally different. Especially back then, unless you're using newer songs. How many channels should I get for a 12 by 18 foot room? Ooh.
As many as you can handle.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I had these little speaker on a stick jobbies. I had 11 of them in a 10 by 14.
Yeah. It gets expensive really quick though, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say allocate the most to, your front stage, and then have a good 5.1 first, and then add the rear surround, and then start going with the height speakers. Then you're gonna have to go.
What if you were just to put the height first?
Just height only.
Just height.
That's it. And subs. Don't forget about the subs. The subs got to be good. It just gets expensive real fast, right?
Yeah.
I would say, man, you could have a great experience with a 2.1 system.
Mhm.
You know, you can have a better experience with a 5.1. So it just keeps getting incrementally better.
Yeah.
I think really, you know, we joke about Aaron's setup, you know, but 5.1 is actually a immersive setup.
It's the best thing ever.
You could have a very good listening experience. And you know, here's a thing to try. Turn off all your Height speakers if you have Atmos, and then play the Amaze demo or the Leaf demo. I swear to you, you're gonna think that there's stuff happening in the Heights because they do some stuff psychoacoustically where it sounds like something is happening. So even then, you will get some sense of height. Not as perfect, right? But I think you'll notice that it sounds like there is some height. What else we got here?
What else we got here? Hey,
what do you think? What?
Oh, I got a question. I was going to say something, but I'll do this first. What do you think about using the MoFi 8 as part of a home theater? What would you pair them with? A subwoofer.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. Just a subwoofer. Yeah, no, I think they'd be fine. I think most speakers are fine as part of a home theater. You know, you just got to play it within the volume level that it can play, and then the low frequency that it can play. Subwoofer wise, man, I don't know. Like, there's so many. I always say SBS makes good stuff. Monoprice makes good stuff. You know, it just kind of depends on what your budget is.
Would you do like a full front stage of those?
Yeah, for sure.
If you could afford it, right? That's gonna start getting a little expensive.
Yeah, it would get expensive pretty quick.
How much are they? I don't even remember.
Well, right now they're actually on sale for about $2,000 a pair. So I think you can get them for, and actually Crutchfield has a couple on their outlet, like just individual ones. So you could get just one for a center.
Oh yeah.
I think Amir at Audio Science Review runs a 1.1, just like a center and a sub. And that's it.
That makes sense.
I'm just kidding.
Everything's in mono. That's how you know what sounds good, man. It's in mono, and you know
1.1.
The coolest thing is when you listen to 1.1, no matter where you go in the room, you know, like the image is gonna focus right in the middle.
Well, all right. Here's a question.
Here's a funny question. Most immersive speaker setup 1.1.
Would you rather have a 1.1 where you're getting full range, right? But it's just mono center, not center, but like mono, right?
Yeah,
so mono with a sub, and it's like sounds immersive, or like a small like bookshelf speakers that only get down to like 70 hertz, but stereo.
70.
Did you just say it sounds immersive with one channel?
Did I
you
say
mean
immersive?
There's a lot of bass to it?
It sounds full range.
Yeah, okay, I got you. I'm just making sure I'm on the same page here.
Not immersive, but like let's say a Source Point 8 with a nice sub versus like two small like bookshelf speakers that can only really get down to like, I want to like say 70, but you're getting some stereo imaging.
Man, I like stereo effects. Like that's a tough call, man. Could I do like both, but like just switch them from day to day? You know, so I'll listen to my music that has stereo effects one day and then listen to Jeezy. So if I'm listening to Jeezy, I don't care what channel it's in. I just need it to go low. Right. But if I'm listening to, you know, some like David Bowie from Space Oddity stuff, then that has some binaural mixing stuff going on in there. I want to hear the stuff that's moving around. So it's tough.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, man. That's a desert island question. I should make that a poll on my page and poll people and ask them, do you know how many people would take that seriously though and then start to argue with each other? Like I can already see it now. That's
funny though. I feel like a kid. Remember when you're a kid, you just ask like, what would you do? Would you rather have, and then you put out two like garbage options. So Chana, what would you pick? 1.1 with a sub getting down to 20 hertz, but one mono channel, or stereo, but only getting down to like 70 hertz?
I don't get the bass, dude. I don't get the bass.
What? Which one?
I'll go with the bass.
What do you guys? How about you guys out there?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Tell me which one you're picking.
Oh,
1.1 Atmos. Yeah, just take that speaker and start moving it around you if you want Atmos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Swinging it.
I'm gonna have to go with the 1.1 setup because I need I need to hear the full range, and I think it'd be more enjoyable, right? Like those SingCell speakers, they're practically mono. Let's be honest, right? I know they're trying to do stereo. They're pretty much mono, but like they're enjoyable. You can listen to music and you're enjoying it. Now, it might be different for movies, and do I need to hear the? Nah, I'm picking 1.1. I'm picking 1.1, and I think most audiophiles, that's general, but like I think a lot of them would pick the stereo one because they love the imaging aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you pick those LS35As or something like that, and you don't add a sub, that's pretty much what I'm talking about. Right? Those little speakers don't have a ton of bass.
Yeah.
Just curious.
When it comes to bass, check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Look at Wendell. I've got an 18 by 14 by 8 space and I have 15 speakers. So, yeah. 1.1.1. I'm sitting on the sub, Atmos right above me. That's great.
Man, I'm looking. You said that SingCell, and I just Googled it. I'm like, are they still around?
I know, right?
They are still around.
Right.
I just wonder how. I just don't ever hear anything about them. And
it's a tough sell. The price was high, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're $2,500.
It's a high price.
It's really cool, but it's not cheap.
I love what they're trying to do with it too.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to do like Atmos and stuff with it.
They're just trying to do completely immersive sound. Like they're really trying to get you to buy more than one and then set them up in different places. And then no matter where you go, you hear the same sound in the room. And it's neat. It really is cool, but
not for Aaron.
I hope the guy was rich. The guy who's the founder. I think he was an Apple guy, so hopefully he had a ton of money and just like, this is a fun project.
Yeah.
If it works, and it works, But I think if they made it much less expensive and small, right? Because they're still big.
Yeah,
they're kind of big. Yeah,
make them small and still look the same. I think they could probably sell some of those and make them work with everything except it only works with AirPlay. Come on, man. Let me use other things. Go Sinatra, yeah. You could go Sinatra. My uncle was a guitarist for Frank Sinatra, so I'm a fan.
Frank Sinatra.
1.1 with BMR speaker, nice wide reflective sound. It'll still be kind of enveloping. Isn't 1.1 really just a soundbar with a sub?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Can you hear spatial effects with mono?
Why
with
would
the wall reflections and things like that? Could that?
All audiophiles say you can get a much better 3D experience out of 2 speakers than you can with Atmos. So can't you get it from 1 speaker?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm picking an MBL too. Make it the omnidirectional one. Let's go.
Yeah.
MBL.
I'm gonna cheat. 1 speaker, MBL, omnidirectional. Let's go.
Oh, like that that Bang & Olufsen something 80.
Oh, the Baolab
90. 90, yeah. Like
that thing. Oof, I want one of those.
That thing looks like a person if a person had like 5 speakers on their face.
Yeah, it's probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
More on the other side of their heads.
But
it's crazy.
It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. The idea of it seems neat. Yes.
Yeah. So from what I hear, they're like, oh, we made this because audiophiles, it always seems like a lonely life. 2 big speakers, 1 singular chair,
right.
and then they're like, this is for, a big room. So there's speakers going in all directions so that you can have 2 of these and you can, in a big room and get all the sound.
What would happen if the speaker you chose, the single speaker, was that Bose 901?
Oh,
what would happen? Is that with massive EQ?
with DSP.
With DSP. So like
that could be fun.
I haven't heard it like in a room. I've heard it at the store.
Yeah.
But like, does it really sound weird? Like, what is it? If you had one, what would it sound like?
It just sounds huge. And you have a really hard time of pinpointing where things are in the soundstage. Like if you know that somebody's supposed to be left of center or something like that, you're like, all right, there's somewhere over here, like I don't know where, I can't point them out, but there's somewhere in this 5-foot circle of a region, right? That's how diffuse they sound.
That sounds like I see what you're saying when you're like, I know they don't measure well, but there's something about it's kind of like fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's enjoyable. Anyway.
I think they're pretty neat.
What else we got? So other super chats or starred comments?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm pulling something up.
Josh Damon says bought a used 7-channel Marantz amp off eBay this weekend.
Which one did you buy? The 5-channel or 7-channel?
Should be here tomorrow.
77 something or other. Isn't the model number? So what is it, like 150 watts per channel?
Is this just an amp?
7-channel. Yeah. They have this. They've got this. Yeah, the MM8077 7-channel power amplifier, $2,500 on Crutchfield. Let me just bring this up so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Badoom, $2,500 in stock. I mean, it looks like a Marantz with no knobs. Still got the porthole.
There it is.
Portal. Protect.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got XLR. We got RCA.
If Marantz made a power conditioner, how do you think it would look?
It'll have a porthole.
It look exactly the same, right?
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah.
Ooh, look at all these internal components. Look at that. Oh, look at this toroidal transfer.
Even the toroidal has a porthole too.
The toroidal has a portal.
Everything has a portal.
Everything's all around. There it is, the portal.
Oh, it's got a North Star on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just in case you get lost.
Yes. You didn't know.
All right.
Very cool. Hold on. It says 150 watts per channel.
That's a lot.
2 channels driven? Really? All that? 2 channels.
Frequency response 8 hertz.
Oh, sorry.
8 hertz. It says. Hey, Aaron, that was very interesting what you did with the multi-tone test with the NAD.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason for it. I'm like, is there a reason why nobody's doing that? Not like a conspiracy theory. Like, is this the right thing to do? But it makes sense to me, so I'm gonna keep doing it until somebody smarter than me tells me.
I make mistakes all the time, and the problem is if you make a video, it's a public mistake.
Yes.
Whereas most of the time, everybody's making a mistake, but it's private. Like, for example, when I was testing this ARC Studio, I'm like, dude, I emailed them, like, the response is weird on the measurement, after it does the correction. Yeah. Turns out my audio interface, this particular Motu M2, had a calibration profile in REW for the interface that was like making it measure in a weird way. Like, a calibration, normally you have a mic calibration. Yeah. It had a calibration profile for the sound card. So I had to email them back. Ignore what I said. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So, but I thought that was cool though. How would you explain that in a simple term, like with a multi-tone versus single tone, like simple stuff?
Yeah. So the reason I did is because that Weem audio amp or Weem amp that everybody was using, like there was a lot of people that said that it didn't sound like it got loud enough. And then when I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, definitely, like I understand what people are saying. So I was thinking, normally when we test the power output, we just test it like one tone, like a 1 kilohertz tone. And we say, okay, it goes up to this distortion spec, maybe 1% THD or something like that. Right. But then I thought I'm going to test it at low volume with just the 1 kilohertz tone. And then at that same input voltage, so whatever voltage I need to feed it to make 1 watt or 2 watts, I'm going to apply a multi-tone signal. So a multi-tone signal is like 32 bands of a tone across the entire audio spectrum, like 16 hertz to 20 something kilohertz or something like that. Anyway, so I thought, yeah, I'll do a 1-to-1. So I'll test it 1 watt, 1 tone, and then 1 watt multi-tone. And then I'm going to ramp it up to spec with 1 kilohertz. It's supposed to do 100 watts. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it does that. It does. Now what happens when I apply a multi-tone signal to it? Same input voltage, but just a multi-tone signal. And the idea is that it should theoretically make the same power. And for the Weem amp, I found that it lost about 33 watts between the 1 kilohertz tone and the multi-tone. But with the NAD, it lost like 2 watts. So to me, that's kind of negligible.
So
yeah, but I think that might be an interesting way to see when you're saturating that power supply with a lot of content, a lot of music content, what's it doing? Is it able to keep up, or is it actually dropping in overall level?
That's interesting because, well, a lot of people are focused on, the Synad scores, different, things like that. Whereas the power output, when you're playing all kinds of content through it, that's more important to me personally.
Yeah.
That's something that I'd be more concerned about because, here, this is related to our friend at Derek, right? Big D Wiz. He always changes his name. Williston Audio Labs. It is right now. Yeah, it's always changing.
Derek, he's a good dude.
I went back and saw an old video of him where he's testing an amplifier, and it's not hitting the rated spec. It was like, rated at 200, and maybe it was hitting, 130.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end, he's like, look, just for fun, let's throw it the 10K test, 10 kilohertz test tone. Right?
Yeah.
And then let's see how at 10 kilohertz, that thing was at like 400 watts. So there's a difference. 10 kilohertz, single tone, 400 watts, other tone, 130. Yeah. And it kind of made me think about what's important in an amplifier. Would you be able to possibly kind of do the same thing, but run M noise or pink noise? Would that be a similar test?
Yeah, I mean, the multi-tone is kind of like that. I guess they have probably different crest factors, like how much range there is for them and stuff like that. But that's the only tones that I have access to with the hardware and software combo that I'm using right now. Is single tone or multi-tone. I think that's it.
Mm.
So I can't inject my own signal into it. It's kind of a closed loop system,
Yeah, that's too bad. Because I would be curious to see what it would do with pink noise or M noise, which is basically it's kind of like pink noise, but it has like some weird like sparkly things it's meant to emulate the sound of the power of music.
Yeah.
Power of music.
Power of music.
The power. But that's an interesting test to hear how much power the amplifier is actually putting out with content,
right? Like
music.
Yeah, I mean, personally, like 1 kilohertz tone, like I'm never listening to just a 1 kilohertz tone. I want to know what it's doing.
I don't want to know. I don't care how loud it can get at 1 kilohertz. I want to know how it can play all the frequencies.
Yeah, I want to know if that power supply can keep up.
So you saturate it.
Yeah, it was kind of the idea. It's still not perfect. What I really wish I had was something like an audio precision, so I could feed it a lot of input voltage to feed the analyzer the input voltage that I need. Because I got a 500 something watt amp here, and I try to do it with that, and it wasn't having it. The analyzer that I use was like, nah, bro, I can't do that. It was just shutting itself down.
I can't do that, bro.
It was like, nah, man, you got the wrong guy. I think it's maxed out at like 47 volts or something like that, where I needed more than that at the resistance that I was testing at.
Yeah, Crowson says he doesn't listen. He only listens at 2.83 volts.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
In mono
with a subwoofer.
Life in mono.
There we go. Chana, this is for you. E4 Superfly.
E4 Superfly. I noticed you've done a video on connecting a rel subwoofer through high level. Is it worth it connecting to one of yours? No. I don't think so.
Well, there you go.
Is it worth connecting one to your center channel and running it full range? No, I don't think so. I think you have well base managed bookshelves or your regular center channel and everything's going to your subwoofer. You're probably fine. I don't think you need to do that.
That's how they had it set up at the Sound United / Massimo in their theater. Every speaker had its own subwoofer. Every single speaker.
Wait, is San Diego?
Carlsbad.
Yeah. What do you
do?
Carlsbad. That was quick, Aaron. That was too
fast for me. Too fast for me. Okay. Yeah, I heard it in their system, and of course, lots of bass. But just remember, the more subs you have, the more issues it can also cause, where they're starting to cancel each other.
Yeah.
All right, that can be an issue. So you really have to be careful about Yeah.
This time.
What else? What else we got?
Dude, those KEF Blade 2 metas, oh my god.
Are you serious?
Those speakers are just like,
well, hey, you got to go hard and really say like how much you enjoy them, because I always say that you don't seem that excited about speakers that like are actually pretty good. You're just like, yeah, they're good. What can I tell you? But like,
yeah, no,
this is your chance.
These are unreal, man. I told you guys in that private chat. So I was listening to, in particular, I was listening to a Michael Jackson song. Oh God, not Pretty Young Thing. Oh, my mind just blanked out.
PYT.
That's the same song, man.
Human Nature.
You're no help right now.
Man in the mirror.
What was it? Give me a second. Now you're just naming them all, and I can't remember which one it was. Even if you got it right, I'm not going to remember right now. Suck, bro. Hold on. I'll find it in a minute. I will find it. Just keep entertaining us like that. That's fine. Just keep going, man.
Open mouth thumbnail for the.
Where is this?
Hey, you know what? I think you are allowed to do the open mouth thumbnail for the
there you go.
Oh, I'm going to do it for that. All right, it's wanna be starting something.
Okay.
Wanna be starting something. All right, so I'm listening to it, and about like 30 seconds or so into it, I notice there's like a sound like on the right.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, I never noticed that before.
Did you just hear something that wasn't?
I did. So then I got headphones, and I was like, yeah, I don't really hear it. Like, I kind of hear it if I'm stretching it, you know? I'm like, okay, I don't really know. I listen to it again, and then I pull up this guy's video. He makes a video about it, has all the stems. Chana, you know what I'm talking about. Got all the stems for all the different tracks. There's like 32 or something different tracks for that song.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, this is a 45-minute video, and I'm watching it, and I can't find what I'm looking for. So then I go download the stems, and I found it. And I can't, it's called like, I even wrote it down because I was just like blown away by how it stood out. And I was just like, this is
what timestamp so we can test it out?
Yeah.
It's called Percussive Scratch, and it's at 29 seconds, and it only lasts for about 7 seconds. But it's on the right side, and it sounds like a sound. That's the closest I can get to it with my mouth. But it's like a clack. It's like a clack sound. Hey.
What do I have to listen to uncompressed, or can I play it on anything? Does it have to be like?
Dude, I was streaming it off of YouTube, like the worst version I could find. I'm just kidding. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. But it was crazy. I was like, what? I've never heard it. Like, it just stood out, but it wasn't annoying. And there's a song that I've heard a bunch of times that I heard a cutout on, and I'm like, all right, is that a streaming thing? So I'm going to go back and find my actual album.
I'm going to mute myself. 27 seconds, you say?
29 seconds is about where it starts. It kind of starts a new
is it
sound.
Is it on a particular speaker?
It's on the right.
On the right. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to listen.
Tell us more about how close you can get to it with your mouth, Aaron.
You have to pay extra for that. You got to do a super chat. No, super chat. Super chat. $10 super chat, and I will tell you.
It's like a veil has been lifted over. So
I know it. It's the typical audiophile stuff, man. But it's like, you know, when you've heard these songs hundreds of times and you hear something new, you're like, oh, hold up. Well, is that real?
Host ticket. Anyway, there's something that was kind of interesting that I learned from these Atmos mixers or these immersive mixers last week. One of the things is like those types of like little sounds, Aaron, you're not really supposed to hear it. They try to like, if there's something bad in the recording, they want to try and hide it, right?
Yeah.
What they don't like, and they use like compressors, like they'll like use a SSL glue compressor to kind of glue everything together. So it's nice and cohesive and stuff like that. But when you go into Atmos, you can't use that stuff. And then all these things that you were trying to hide as the mixer are now exposed. Yeah, right? So either you have to take it out purposefully, otherwise it's just going to be there, and more people are going to notice. So it's funny to me how, like, you know, all the audiophiles want to hear all these little tiny details because the speaker or the system is so revealing that, oh, when the drummer was recording, he accidentally farted, and you can hear the fart on the snare drum a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
like this. Oh, did you hear it? Like, is this really like what it's come down to? Do you want to hear somebody farting on a stair drum?
I did hear it.
Dude, I just listened to that. That's a very subtle noise.
Yeah.
And I'm near field to the speaker. I'm like right here.
When you know to listen for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So
now
anyway,
I told
what was happening? Like you heard this thing, and you're like,
yeah. I mean, I've heard that song thousands of times, and I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it stood out, you know, but not in a bad way. It just like in the soundstage, it was like there's this distinct sound that with these other speakers that I went back and listened to doesn't stand out as much.
Sure.
So without having heard those speakers, I'm not sure that I ever would have heard that sound. I'm dead serious. It was wild.
That's what it is. Got to plunk down your 50K now.
Dude, I want to buy them so bad.
You have to listen to every song.
I'm telling you,
Easter eggs.
I want to buy them so bad. So bad.
You know, so I would always used to say, like, there's this in this Portishead song, you can hear like a little mouth detail when she like goes to like open her mouth to sing. You know, you can kind of hear it. But you can kind of hear that on every speaker. So it's like, I don't know, is that like something special and cool and audiophile like? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I remember I did a review one time. It was a car audio speaker, and I talked about something. Uh-oh. Anyway, it was about a car audio speaker, and I mentioned having heard something, and then everybody else was like, well, I can hear it too. It doesn't mean those speakers are great. And I'm like, well, you can now because I've told you to go and listen for it.
They're now opened up to the like, oh, something's there. Let me right. Yeah.
All right. So what else about this KEF Blade?
It sounds incredible, dude. Like here it is. Anybody who says these speakers don't sound good either doesn't know what to listen for. They are biased against the speaker for some reason. Set up improperly.
Kidding.
Or something else. Maybe there's a fourth variant.
Say the brand. Can you say the brand?
Who? What?
The brand of the speaker.
Oh, it's KEF Blade 2 Meta.
Okay. No, the reason I asked, the reason I asked is because I can tell that you responded to somebody using like the voice thing. Yeah, and I commented back because they probably either don't like the Keith. Keith. It says Keith, and I said, "Oh yeah, Keith Blades."
Yeah, you know that guy, Keith Blades. Man, he sucks.
Keith
can't make a speaker to save his life.
All right, so what do you think? If I was skeptical and I'm like, oh, now Aaron's all about it, right? Like, oh, now he's raving about this, giving subjective. Now he's being all subjective, and he's saying all these terms all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Okay, so
White Man Special by Keith.
What is your preemptive response to that?
I don't care, man. I like what I like.
It's like that, huh?
Like that, man. These things sound freaking fantastic, dude. I mean, like, it's wild because everything is so layered. And so, like, a week ago, I was saying I would want my mid basses close to the floor, you know, and now I'm like, nope, put them right by the mid range. Like, put every driver right there. But honestly, if you think about it, to me, that has always made the most sense. And that's why I've always thought the Blade, probably like just from a logical perspective, makes the most sense, you know. But like, you could argue that an MTM type design with a more narrow vertical could be advantageous. But man, I don't know how anybody can say these things don't sound good. I think they're out of their minds, or they're biased, or they don't know what they're listening for. Because
they Blade 1 Meta,
Blade 2 Meta. The ones are larger. The difference between the ones and the twos, other than just physical size, is that the ones have either 9 or a 9.5 inch mid bass. There's 4 of them, and then the Blade 2 Metas have 6.5 inch mid bass. But they get down to 30 without any issue. I'm just like, forget it.
Wait, did you say 30?
30 hertz, yeah, for 30K.
30 hertz for 30K.
So you're hearing things in the recording that you've never heard before.
Yes,
this is what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
Your toes were tapping. Your toes were tapping.
No. I'm going to call it. I'm going to title the video "Giant Killer," and I'm going to have the O face.
O face. You got to do the just put like all the buzzwords. Just say pace, rhythm, and timing. inner detail,
Inner
little
detail.
chocolatey bass.
Whoa,
You know,
whoa,
you
whoa.
just got
Inner
all-
detail. What are we
Yeah,
talking
inner detail is the detail that is inside of the detail.
inside of my ears?
That sound
Yeah.
of 27 seconds. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, inner
It's the
detail.
inner detail.
Yeah.
You can only hear it if you listen to high res.
Right. Yeah, you can only be an audiophile.
Right. You can
Or only
listen
audiophiles
to
can know.
Cobas.
Really, that's one of those weird sounds that could possibly be taken out with compression. Like when
Yeah.
you take a high res thing, it's like so like blended into the other sounds that like if you use something that's highly compressed, it could be like, that's all the same anyway. Just
Yeah.
play it all as one.
White one. I like the white one.
I don't know.
That's what
Yeah,
I
the
would
ones they sent me are gloss black. I thought I had asked for the
blue one.
flat black, which I guess would be the top ones,
So-
but
The mid range on the
Without the
sides, does that act kind of like a MTM but on like sideways?
yeah, I
What?
don't know what the crossover is for that. My guess is 400, maybe 500 hertz, somewhere around there. But those woofers should basically be non-directional, and the fact that there's two of them, or I'm sorry, there's one on each side, even though there's a baffle which makes them directional. Now that you've got two opposing, now you have omnidirectional sound again. So,
Okay, so how impressive would this speaker be? Let's just say if you just took out the woofers on the sides, not from like a frequency response, but like from an imaging standpoint. Would
yeah,
would they
that's the
be-
thing, man. I'm really not sure I'm not sure how much of what I'm hearing as far as like soundstage effects and things like that goes is having the woofers on the side. So what I thought about doing was getting a couple subwoofers, or not subwoofers, but like mid-bass modules or something,
Mhm.
and maybe setting those on the floor and then doing the whole biamp thing, and just kind of seeing like what happens. Just like
He's
what
going crazy.
what happens then if I basically
Oh.
get rid of these mid-bass drivers that are playing? To me, it just makes sense though. If you're going for a true point source, then that's what they've got there. It's kind of like those Genelecs that you guys listen to. It's a different way of getting there,
Mhm.
but it does get you there.
You know,
Although they got 12,
you know,
and
you know
15,
what
I think.
sad is that like at Audio Advice they had these like in like the biggest, widest open space.
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm like, oh, let's listen to something. She's like, it's not that great because like this
Yeah.
is the KEF person, because we got two subs and
Yeah.
I'm like,
They
okay,
were just there for show. I'm sure.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
How much of it is the shape, that shape?
Well, the shape certainly has to do with the overall response, which means the tonality. Like I know a lot of people are saying, oh, for $30,000, it better sound good. I would say that you've got to separate the look of it from the sound of it too, because you're paying a lot of money for that design, right?
Yeah.
So
Is that driver exclusive to that front driver? Is it exclusive to these?
that
Because
speaker,
I know the new subs, they say they take the drivers from these, right?
yeah, I don't know about that mid-range tweeter coaxial driver. I don't know if that's in their reference meta line now. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
It might be.
Look,
Yeah.
you know what? When I look at something like this, I'm like, man, I need to upgrade my house first. I don't have a house.
Okay, so how about this?
But
When you
like-
put them on the clipple, did you have to lay them down or stand?
I haven't got
Yeah.
them on the clipper yet. I don't know that I'm going to be able to. That's the problem.
Oh, can't measure these, Aaron.
No, well, I can measure them manually.
Chill
I can
out.
I can measure them manually, which I'm not looking forward to doing. I may wind up just seeing if they can let me hold on to them until I move, because then I'll have the height that I need.
Yeah,
to
you're gonna hold on.
How about
Here's
how
the
about
crossover.
never send
You
them
didn't
back.
know what the crossover.
how about if you listen to them on their side? What happens?
What the fuck?
I know it
I don't
sounds
have an
crazy.
answer for that. I'm guessing.
While they're laying down, right?
I mean,
Because it's the mid ranges. That's the typical like.
Would it change
Oh,
how it sounds? I guess I would say I would have to know that with any degree of accuracy. I would have to see what the vertical and the horizontal radiation look like. I would think that it probably wouldn't change a lot.
Okay, they look like giant flash drives.
Could be.
Yeah, it seems to be a love or hate, man, because I posted like a teaser photo and people were like, oh, those are hideous. And then other people were like, oh, those are awesome. So I'm just like, I hate
You
the
know-
look of certain speakers that people love. So I get it. It's a
Like,
personal
this is what,
decision.
This is what I'm saying, though, dude. Like, I need to have a house that looks like this background to have a speaker like that in there.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, that's one of those things.
Because I believe you when you say they do like some magical stuff, right? I believe
Yeah.
you because you don't get that excited about a lot of speakers
Right.
and expensive speakers. You get a lot of expensive speakers, and you're like, yeah, they're cool. I mean, they're pretty good, but it's not like what you're like, dude.
No,
what's
these are
the
next
heck
level,
going on
man.
with
Like,
you?
I mean, if costs were no object, get them and just never turn around. I'd be fine.
But nothing about them looks like so like esoteric and special. You know what I mean? Like it's a coaxial.
Yeah, they don't have a 15-inch mid-bass
There's
driver
nothing
on it, that
weird.
kind of thing, or a big old
Like,
horn. But
I'm trying
that's
to
the
figure
thing
out
too.
what
Like,
it is about it.
yeah, if you kind of understand how a speaker is designed, you go like, oh wow, that makes sense. You know, you've got everything in one location. You've got a true point source sound rather than it being staggered, multiple crossovers vertically. I just don't know. I would love to have the ability though to test that out, you know, to shut down those side mid bass, have a mid bass on the floor, properly EQ'd for the room and all that stuff, you know, and then listen and say like, all right, does it sound like the stage is being split? Because that's the one thing I've tend to notice with tower speakers is that not every speaker, but a decent bit of tower speakers, I can hear the sound stage split vertically. And I've commented on it. I pointed to it and we're in the data that it kind of makes sense to me that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. But with those, dude, it's just like everything is, even when I'm laying on the floor watching TV, like looking up, it all sounds like it's coming from up
with
here.
the speaker, aren't you?
Huh?
You're laying down with the speaker, aren't you? You're laying
Dude,
on
I'm like, it's, I got one on
admiring
each
it from
side. I've got my
below.
arms around it because I'm like, nobody will take you from me.
Look at this thing. This is like the what is it? It's called
Now, if they came looking like that, I wouldn't want one.
discrete chamber for pure sound. Each pair of low frequency drivers is located in its own chamber. This approach reduces the potential for interference between the drive units while also reducing the need for damping, which can impair bass quality.
What are those rolls down there? What is that?
These are your hot towels for when you
Yeah, that's what, Bikram yoga.
So catch any moisture because these things are hot. It's sweating in there. I don't know, man.
So which one has a port?
The top one looks like the pot. There's a port.
Look, there's another port up top or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But a smaller enclosure for the top one than the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, because of those shape, right? And the top one is imported. Well, I don't know. No, it could be ported.
The whole cabinet would
The
be.
whole thing is ported. Yeah, there's a port down here too. Looks like this is drawing air from out here in here, and then boop, boop.
Yeah.
Okay, so what?
We'll take
Okay,
them apart.
what sounds close to these?
Nothing. I've not heard anything that.
Nothing
Oh,
Boo!
Seriously, man.
Boo! How about
It's kind of soured me. Like I'm just like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, am I going to hear anything that?
Dutch or the like? What are the key audio ones?
The keys are nice. The Dutch and Dutch are really nice. And somebody said the Danley Synergy Unity. I've heard the Danley Hyperions, and those sounded freaking awesome, dude. Those things got like 215s in the chamber. It's unreal. But when I heard those, at least at the place I heard them at, they don't do what these do.
Hey, Aaron.
You know? So I don't know how to describe that.
You see this, Aaron?
There's a limitless choice.
You can get any color you want, bro.
I'm gonna get gold. Gold.
I mean, that is the worst way to show it, but you can get any. You bring in a swatch, dude. They'll hook it up.
Yeah, they will.
I'm gonna go get the
35K. Hey, just sell your Tesla, bro. You don't need a car,
Dude, I don't need that, especially when I move.
Yeah,
I can just ride my bike to work.
that's right. BMX full life.
Yes, that's right. Blow out my back on the way to work.
I got a plan. So look, it's gonna go like this. It's gonna go. They're gonna send me this to review. This is the old one.
No, man.
Oh.
What are you doing,
Right.
bro?
It's KC92. Yeah, this is a new one.
All right, that's the new one.
It says, where does it say that it uses the same driver as the blades?
That might be the other one.
Really?
Is that the KC60?
Control F
maybe?
Blade. Just say Blade. Just search the word Blade.
Okay, hold on a second. Is it this one? Hold on a second.
I don't know.
Cal measured them quasi, and he got rid of his Revels. Who's Cal?
Cal Rubinson?
Cal Rubinson? Is that
Or
what
is
you
it-
said?
or is it
Calvin
Ghost
Rubinson.
Cal? Or
One of
is
the
it-
stereophile guys.
or is it-
Cal's the one who he mentioned our
doesn't-
disc. Remember?
Cal doesn't measure though. That would have been John Atkinson, but Cal reviewed them and John Atkinson measured them.
See here,
Yeah.
Jeremy's on the same train. Fancy Art Deco speakers don't work aesthetically in my 60s ranch house. See, it's
You
not
need to flip it around the other way. Your 60s ranch house don't work with fancy Art Deco speakers.
well, I mean, they go hand
You
in
could
hand.
easily make those work. I mean, they come in custom designs, right?
Yeah,
Just
you
get some
could
wood
get a
grain
ranch
design.
Or you could just get a ranch color.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah, they come in white. That's ranch.
oh, that's great.
That'll work.
I was gonna say I'm gonna get one of these KEF subs, and then I'm just gonna cut a hole and then put one of the concentric
right in there.
That's it, right there.
I think what I'm going to
Baby
do is
blade. Call it a baby blade, bro. Baby.
yeah, no, well, that's what the LS60 wireless is supposed to be, but to me, it's leagues apart. I'm going to take that MoFi 8. I'm going to pair it with a couple of those KEF subs. I'm going to put one above and one below, and then one on each side of that MoFi 8, and that thing's going to be ridiculous. I'm kidding.
How low does the bass part have to be to do that effect that you think? 500?
How low?
Or how high?
It would depend on the size of the driver and the baffle, but I think for 6.5 stuff like that, I mean 400 or 500 hertz is fine. If you're talking 8, then maybe a little bit lower, and then 15 a little bit lower as well. But you could put some.
You think that's going to be a hard review for you to do?
Huh?
You think it'll be a hard review because you're so excited about it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm gonna put into words how much I like it.
I know. Well, you have now that you crossed over to the point of subjective, right?
Wow, dude, you just like your Cali video. You're like,
I'm done.
Just buy them. I was like, man, okay. Did someone call you a shill for that?
Yeah.
Oh, so what's gonna happen now, bro?
I know it.
You're gonna sink, Brand. We're gonna throw you a life raft. You'll be
I
like,
don't care, man. If you don't believe me, just look at the
measurements
data.
on it. You're gonna just throw it away. You're like, I already got my ears.
I think you're gonna have to do 2 separate videos. So seriously, I think you're gonna have to do a video that's just pure measurements first, right? Just pure measurements, and then another video that's just like subjective.
Pure, just I love
maybe.
these things. Buy them.
I think you're gonna have to be separate, and then you're gonna have to just say, dude, I made my previous video was all objective. Watch that if you don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
Descriptions sound better in a British accent. I didn't even see any of these comments, man. Wow, did those speakers come with toilet paper? Oh, this is great.
I'm not laughing because that's not funny.
That looks like the ships that came down in the movie Arrival.
Yep. They do.
They totally do.
They totally do. I don't know. As far as like the best looking speakers go, I still think one of the best ones we talked about a couple weeks ago, that Devone speaker brand or whatever, that had that white looking vinyl wrap at the top, and the bottom half was like a wood looking finish.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really cool looking speakers.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody commented on our previous video, like, yeah, you should totally make a speaker. Aaron could do the specs and all that, and then I could do like the aesthetic design.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you know that Aaron can't do a cool aesthetic? You make it seem like he doesn't know. He just because he's like smart. Doesn't mean
they're probably right.
anything about design.
They're probably right.
Oh, okay.
I wish I knew how to do that stuff, man. Like I wish I could make stuff look good. My buddy Steve Cook, who owns owned an audio shop up the road, does a whole bunch of installs and stuff like that. Just world-class stuff, man. I would go up there to have him do some work for me, and he would just bang stuff out in about 4 or 5 hours. And I would be like, I would spend a month doing that, and it still wouldn't look as good. He'd just be like, yeah, but I own a shop. Like he would kind of humble himself down. But I'm like, come on, man. You just made you just made cell panels that look like stock in 5 hours.
Yeah.
And you got a tweeter in there, like some people just have a gift.
I think it just depends on what you care about. With the guy I'm working with to do the development on the Magic Beans, early on, he's like, it could take me years and I couldn't make something look cool. But like he makes like the best code, right? Like the code is beautiful. Like the functionality is awesome. But when it comes to the aesthetic design of how the app looks, like it's not in his brain to care. Whereas for me, I'm like, no, hold on a second. That button, that circle has got to be moved over. It's got to be spaced. Like it's just what you care about.
Right.
You know. So you got to partner with people who care about the most, this guy cares about the code being super like good, and I care about the visual aspect of the app and the functionality and being easy to use. So you kind of just got to partner with people who have strengths that you don't have.
Be easy.
What else, man? We got any more? We got any more? We should get going.
Hold on. This stuff was just funny. He was gonna buy those.
Here, let's go knock them out.
Okay. Should I receive a confirmation email after signing up to the early access?
No, your first email will probably be, welcome. You have the ability to purchase this at a discounted rate. That'll be the first email that I send out. What else?
Any takes on Dune 2? I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I want to watch it. Let's go.
I do have this. I have something for you guys.
Y'all didn't have y'all's date night last week to go see the movie?
No, that didn't happen. Joe stood me up.
Final piece on the album.
That makes sense.
Can you hear
The
this?
idea was this is another version of what the first one was. Yeah. So what I tried to do with this one was
Can you hear
start
this?
in a very non-immersive way and let the track grow out like someone was pulling back the curtains and exposing all the musicians. That was my idea. I feel like I was about 60% successful with it, that if I could do it again, now that I'm listening, I could hear the things I could do a little better, but it's still pretty good.
So this is Alan Meyerson. He's the guy that did the immersive mix for Dune 2. So I didn't get to see the movie, but I got to listen to a bunch of the stuff that he did. Over at my little event. I even have, he puts in something. It's going to be in my video. It's hilarious. He puts something into all of his score mixes. He calls it Newman. And he says, hello, Newman. Every time he hears it. And he says it's in he puts his own little Easter egg in there.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a little bit more subtle. I hear the Atmos is good. Yes, that's what Chad was saying.
Another one.
But we just have to wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. You guys mentioned Madonna's IC and Q sound a few weeks ago, and it sounded pretty all right. I've been working on some DIY three-way horns and all pro drivers. Now that it's aligned, the stereo image is huge.
Yeah.
Very good.
Q sound.
I noticed a large percentage of Height speakers have the woofer at the top. I'm currently running bookshelves as Heights. Would it be beneficial to run them upside down? No, I don't think so. Joe and I have had this discussion plenty of times.
Well, a lot of the ones that people use are like the SVS prime elevations, and the reason you can't turn it upside down is because the angle. Now it would be pointing towards the ceiling, which you don't want. So if you're just using regular bookshelf speakers, the thing is you have to consider the sound that's coming down towards you, the direct-ish sound, but then also because it's near a ceiling, you got to consider the sound that's bouncing off that ceiling that's like right next to it, right? And then if it's in the corner, then you got to worry about the sound that hits the sidewall. So if it's not near a sidewall, then you're just looking at the sound that's coming directly towards you and whatever's being bounced off the ceiling. So I like the idea of using a concentric speaker because the sound that's coming towards you and the sound that's bouncing off of the ceiling, they're going to be pretty much the same, right? So that's why I like using concentric for the height, but there's not very many. There's like the Monolith THX compact satellite, but they can't get very loud.
Yeah.
Not an issue for me in most cases. And then I saw the Aperion something that's a little bit more expensive, and that's concentric. And then I think
who researched one? 2 research.
Oh,
that
dude, those are huge.
Yeah, they're huge.
those are huge, bro.
Like that with the like
Those
yellow.
are huge, bro. They're huge.
That.
They're huge. You can't. I wouldn't trust that on a stereo.
11 speaker Atmos setup with those.
Yeah, so I like Concentric for heights just because we know that it's probably going to be near a nearby surface.
Yeah.
The problem with, let's say, a bookshelf speaker would be typically, Aaron, wouldn't you say like the above the tweeter is usually the worst response? Like there's going to be a dip.
You know, sometimes above the tweeter is actually better, but I really don't know. I would probably say most likely, yeah.
Like, if you had to like just guess, we didn't know the speaker, and you said, would you rather be above the tweeter or below the tweeter?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Period. I mean, probably below it, but it depends on like where below.
So
Yeah.
so since
Above
you're
it's probably not going to have a lot of sound at all. The further above it you go.
I found that when I'm doing like moving mic stuff, below the tweeter usually doesn't have that like a huge dip in there. Once you start going up, then I start seeing like a pretty big dip in the crossover region.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, it might be beneficial for you to try the speaker so that the woofer is on top. Let me think. No, where the tweeter is on top. The problem again is that the worst axis, which is above the tweeter, is going to hit the ceiling also.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it'd be actually better to put a two-way speaker sideways.
Huh? You think so?
Sideways, so that like you're horizontally off axis this way, and the bounce that's coming off the speaker is hitting the ceiling. And then the bad axis is going to be like somewhere there and somewhere far, you know?
I've seen a lot of Atmos mixing setups where they do that for the heights.
Sideways?
Yeah, sideways. PMC's done it. Callie did it at that thing recently. So, I mean, I don't know.
Aaron's really the expert when it comes to the directivity stuff.
Yeah, vertically, it's kind of it just depends. I mean, I would say both of them could be equally bad. Honestly.
How about the speaker sideways though? So let's say
I would almost say never.
Never?
Sideways, but you're talking about a specific reason for maybe doing something with that?
Well, let's say this is the ceiling, right? I don't know how I could do this.
Sorry, I was just stretching my back. All right.
So you have a two-way bookshelf speaker, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say off axis horizontally, it measures pretty well. Vertically, not so good. Yeah. So if it's up near a ceiling and it's up high, you know that you're going to get some sound coming down towards you, right? The direct sound. But you also know that there will be an inevitable reflection off the ceiling.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
up and down. Have a choice of being below the woofer or above the tweeter hitting the ceiling, or turn it sideways and then.
Yeah, but you can't move. You couldn't move left or right in the room, but vertically you'd have a more consistent response. What I mean is, with the speaker turned sideways, you'd have a more consistent response fanning down into the room, right? Possibly. You would have to think about where you sit in the room too, because then you could easily be sitting in a really terrible spot from side to side if you have multiple rows or multiple seats. So, but yeah, I see your logic there. I think that's reasonable.
I think my recommendation would be, if you have to use a two-way bookshelf speaker, put it sideways so that the horizontal off-axis response is similar, hitting the ceiling and directly towards you. And then have the tweeter facing like a wall that's far away, because that's probably going to be the worst response where you get a dip. So have the tweeter facing that way, and then the main listening position being more towards the bottom of the woofer.
Yeah.
That would be my recommendation. I don't know how it's going to look though, and I don't know if you can even do it, because a lot of the mounts are for the width.
Yep.
And you might not be able to handle figure it out.
The weight. Now that
those monoprice coaxials or a cheap coaxial, put it back there, and then mount a subwoofer to the wall right below it.
Now we know that
Whoa.
Aaron is a KEF shill. He has no problem endorsing these guys right here.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
The only problem with these is
Hold on, does that say $750 each?
Yeah.
Why would anybody pay that much money for that?
because it's KEF.
Dude, I don't care. Like,
It's like a mini blade.
I
It's a
don't
key.
understand that. That's ridiculous.
It'll match your blade. It's the high channel that'll match your
Pair.
blade.
It says a pair.
I'm just like, even if
Oh, does it say pair? Oh, it says 750.
Yeah.
okay, that's better. Still not great, but that's better.
The only
Man, that
reason why
seems
you
expensive
can.
to me for an Atmos speaker. You know, like
They're
for a
usually
speaker that
running
has
400
limited
a pair.
bandwidth, doesn't have any bass, it's a small enclosure. You know, like I don't really understand, but that seems to be kind of the case. I've come across other Atmos type speakers that are, you know, more than $500, $600, and I'm thinking, why? For what it is, like,
Mhm.
why?
You can't use these for heights because oftentimes they have a specific crossover network that notches things out and has a weird frequency response that's
Yeah.
made because they want it to bounce off the top.
Yeah.
You don't want to use that as a
Look at the
direct radiating speaker.
The response is fantastic. 105.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
Derek didn't like the SVS satellites for Atmos.
I just worry that satellite speakers in general are so band limited on bass, and then you have such a separation between those and a subwoofer. So the question is, do the satellites get, let's say, response sent to them below 100 hertz?
I mean, if you send it to them, why wouldn't you?
That's, you see what I'm saying here, though? Like, if you told me that you're going to have a bookshelf that was 8 feet away from your subwoofer, and it was going to be 8 feet away, like vertically in the vertical plane, I don't
You're
understand.
saying, can you use bass management to make it sound like a cohesive
Yeah, right.
over to the sub?
I would prefer to have a more like a speaker that extends lower, you know, and can't get lower than 110 hertz or 100 hertz. To me, I just don't really get that. And the only reason I was saying was that, like, maybe if we know the content is that low content is never sent to them, then okay, all right, that's fine.
So the heights can accept the full range signal. We're talking theoretical, and then there's like the practical sense, right? So what we've found out, Sean and I, is those height speakers, if you really want something, like you want to notice something happening there, it's probably not going to be low frequency content. You know what I mean? Like you can use all the other speakers for low frequency content. Even if you can put full range content up there, but it's more like if you want to notice something happening up above, it's probably going to be more higher frequency stuff in a practical sense, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, when you're making Atmos, there's no like, I know FOMO brought it up. Oh, the mixers don't put anything with, you know, higher than 100 hertz up there. I'm like, no, that's not true. You can put anything up there. You can put oboes, you can put bassoon noises, you can put all kinds of stuff up there.
Yeah.
And it just, the only thing that matters is the playback system, if they properly bass manage. And if they haven't, then you're going to get that sound up there and it's not going to sound good. You run your high channels full range, you're going to get, should we do that, Joe? Should we do that and fuck with everybody? I mean, that would be kind of cool. Like, how did
bass stuff up there?
How does your high channel handle this?
Let's just put all LFE content up there.
Right? Everything like below 50 hertz and everything like that. Yeah.
Let's do one where we put all super low frequency up in the heights channels. And then for the LFE signal, let's just put like high frequency stuff and see if it comes through.
I found out at the thing that Dolby is now rejecting Atmos mixes where you don't put a cutoff on the LFE.
What, 120? Yeah. But again, if you put bass in the height speakers, it's probably going to be also somewhat on your ear level speakers, right? Usually if you're, But if you exclusively put some bass stuff in the height, I don't think you're gonna say, "Oh, bass is coming from up top."
Yeah, it's just gonna be like it's bass.
Yeah, bass is coming from this direction. Yeah, it's gonna sound like that Bose one.
It could
Anyway.
sound like sky fart.
Sky fart. We should almost be done. We got to do our little outro here.
Do it.
Little outro.
Do it.
Let's see what else. Anything else? Any other comments? Quick.
Nothing started.
We're done.
Nothing
We're
started.
done.
Make sure you go to crew.dailyhifi.com to
That sounded like Vincent Tio right there.
let's get a little bit closer. I am Vincent Tio, professional calibrator and TV reviewer. Please visit Richer Sounds Manchester. Anyway, go to shop.dailyhifi.com. I just like this the sound of my voice when I get all close on this microphone. Hey, welcome everybody. This is DJ Easy. You know where that was going. Go to crew.dailyhifi.com to get yourself crewed up, and go to shop.dailyhifi.com to get yourself merched up. And of course, if you want to listen to the podcast and you don't want to watch me eat, or Aaron pick stuff out of his beard, go to anchor.fm/dailyhifi. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. And on behalf of myself, Joseph, and Mr. Aaron, we will see you next week.
Bye.